This is a picture of my very first truck, trailer, FedEx Ground trailer, that I inspected in February 28th of 2012. As you can see, the undercarriage, it's corroded badly. There's a plate there with a hole in it that I pulled out with my fingers, and that's going to fall off. Fall off at 65 miles an hour. You got about a 5-pound plate. It's going to become a deadly projectile. And it will pan down here next. This is a part of the framework of the landing gear on the trailer. As you can see, all the welds, support welds, are cracked, corroded, and that trailer with the wheels, down during the loading can collapse, and on the road too, it can fall apart and causing deadly projectiles, framed weight to be, thrown out of the road. Our next picture are the support spars in the bottom of the trailer support the whole longitudinal weight of the trailer. And as you can see, they're I-beams, they're corroded through, and this is unacceptable. This is just the worst of the worst. And I noticed that these trailers were like, and this is 2012, or it's much old as 17 years old. No preventive maintenance. These did not belong on the road, and these were deemed meeting minimum standards by the Federal Motor Carrier Administration in Washington and out of Pennsylvania, where FedEx Ground is based. And there's another one, a different one, but the same thing. Spars rotted through, no support at all. Trailer could collapse, fall apart, loaded up, even worse. And we see here more cracked framework on the trucks, or the trailers. You can see them badly cracked. And that also is something that needs to be changed. And that again, here's the truck, the first one. I took all that stuff off because it was going to fall off. I didn't pry it off. I just with a couple fingers pulled it out, and that's the after of that 33223 was the trailer number. I don't forget that. And then here we have underneath, we have disconnected things that are rotted. It's a brake chamber, as you can see, if it's not too clear, but that will fall off. And there's a projector. It's been disconnected for the rear trailer braking system, but instead of taking it off, they let it fall off. Okay, can we hold that for a second? Pictures of, okay. Here we're going to show the pictures of FedEx Ground trailers. The air system boxes, the control boxes for the pneumatic rollers. But the bad part of this is those rollers have been disconnected, so those boxes they're non-functional, and they're falling off. Why not remove it? So as you see, badly corroded, a deadly projectile. There's one with a piece of rubber tire as a rubber band holding the lid on. That comes off at 65 miles per hour. It's going to kill someone. And here's another one, shows how badly the door, that's my hand, I'm holding it up. And that was taken like those in 2012. And as we go over here, another one, the exterior of the box, you see how badly corroded. That's going to eventually fall off. And then we're going down to see if another one, same thing. This one's been mangled and corroded. Somebody damaged it, backed under something. There's another picture of one, same thing. You can see an air tank in the background. Those also will go over. They have straps that are broken, some duct tape, which is totally illegal. And here's another one of the air control boxes, just totally corrupt. I mean, it's just definitely a problem. There's part of a bumper protective device in the back to prevent a car from driving under, but you can see it has no integrity, structural integrity. It's rotted right through. And then here's one of the boxes that has lost most of its structure through corrosion. Falls off on the road, and why, take it off. It's rotted, but they didn't do that. That's under Scott Mugno's tenure in their maintenance program, which he's in charge of, and they claim these trailers are meeting the minimum standards. No way is this possible, but the government says yes. Okay, here we're looking at a landing gear cranking system on the thing, and you look at the crank, you'll see it's corroded through. It weighs about 20 pounds or more, and it's ready to separate, come apart, and that again, flying out at 65 mile an hour is deadly projectile. Now we'll look at the air system, the tanks that store the air for the pneumatic rollers, and you can see the straps, supportive straps, are not holding the tank in place. Some of them are just ready to fall off, and when those come off, they're about 80-pound tank, and you can see they slide back and forth, and eventually they're not hooked up. Why not take them off? But FedEx, different. And here we go. We got some duct tape used to hold these things in place. Totally against the law. Totally dangerous. Fix it, take it off, but not with a Band-Aid. This is unconscionable. Next picture is of a disconnected brake chamber. That's going to fall off. Take it off. But no, it's a deadly projectile. So the next picture is of a brake chamber like the one previously, but the top piece of the brake chamber came off, fell off, and the spring inside and that all shot up and is just exposed. It will fall off eventually, very soon, and become a deadly projectile. Here we look at the back bumper. It's supposed to have integrity to it for a rear-end collision, but it's rotted through, and when somebody hits it or another truck, it will collapse and the car or whatever go underneath the trailer, and the person most likely will be maybe decapitated or killed. And there's a picture that you can see the integrity thing rotted right through. And again, there's one of the pictures of the bumper under Scott Mugno's tenure, head of maintenance at FedEx Ground, and the government says it's okay. This is unconscionable and a violation of several laws. Here we have a picture. Actually, this is a FedEx Express truck, and as you can see, the shock absorber on the back, all the bushings need to be replaced. And what happens that it elongates the hole, it rattles, and eventually the shock absorber falls off, and the rear end of the truck will dip down. Tires will rub on the frame, which is an out-of-service condition. That's just a maintenance issue that they just tend to let go. And here we see another bumper, DOT bumper. You can see it's corroded through, has no structural integrity. So again, that should be replaced also. And this next one is Scott Mugno's, the brain that coaches the truck rodeo, and they get this fancy label from the ATA, for which he is a lobbyist, American Trucking Association, for such a great job on safety. Well, look at the pictures. They speak for themselves. This is the picture 33223. The first truck I pre-tripped that I turned down in February of 28th of 2012. The worst of the worst. Parts falling at the worst. Now here's a side view of a ground truck on our property, which they said you never see. And the next one, just the inside, to prove that, this one truck, but they all had problems. Here again, this one was over at Sawgrass Mill in 2013-14, and they were still, this is after I was terminated, they're still using these trailers. Another one, outdated inspection sticker, FedEx Ground, Sawgrass Mill. Another one, no good, expired, falsified periodic inspection at the Sawgrass Mill. We're looking at the frame of the sliding tandems, rear tandems, and as you can see the weld, it was, let's say, a junkyard repair. This is definitely a no-no by the Federal Motor Carrier Standards. That's not a legitimate repair, and that will just, it's falling apart, it's damaged, and it's dangerous. In the next picture we have of one of the shock absorbers, totally rotted through. That is going to come off of one of the trucks. I mean, it should be replaced and not left on because of fall off. And here we have another trailer with two ball tires on the same tire, soft. This is an out-of-service condition, and again, call tire or roadside service. They'll come and fix it, but no, it's better to drive it like that and possibly have a blowout and tire separation. Some of the wheels, rear trailer wheels, as you can see, the rims, they have cracks, severe cracks, rust, oil stains. These things are just waiting to come apart on the road, causing a major disaster, parts flying off. And you see oil around the hubs are the axle seals, and the oil provides lubrication for the axles, which once that oil leaks out, which you can see it as, there's no oil in them, the oil will come out, and the trailer axles will heat up and eventually separate from the truck. And when you got thousands of pounds like that on the turnpike or whatever, you're going to have some fatalities. Here's a crack, really extremely bad crack. This should be replaced. It shouldn't be, but to kill under Scott Mugno's tenure, head of maintenance at FedEx Ground. And this is what a qualified man for OSHA and safety.